Welcome to the Money Panda, hosted by Elvis Kolawole.
Pekka Kelkka is one of the most prominent blockchain leaders in the Middle East. It was great to hear what he had to say on this topic.
Okay, everyone, welcome. And today I have my new friend called Pekka Kelkka. Did I pronounce it correctly?
You must have some Finnish DNA with you.
Of course, but I love the state of Finland. It's absolutely like one of my favorite countries, like ever. I mean,
thank you.
Yes, it literally like has like sky high HDI ratings, and it's one of those countries I really love in the Nordic regions. So yeah, I'm here with Pekka Kelkka, and today, of course, we're going to talk about GameFi spin-offs. And of course, like you all know, in the year 2021, we could say one of the biggest stories out of the Web3 ecosystem was the explosion of GameFi and the play-to-earn movement, more or less. And of course, with that success, lots of people try, or at least are looking to replicate that success with different kinds of models where they promise to have you earn something by having you take a particular action. There are people who say they're able to have you learn to earn, have you date to earn, have you sleep to earn, have you procreate to earn, and all sorts of frankly outlandish claims out there. And today with Pekka, I'm hoping that he can unpack some of these things, and perhaps we can see what is actually favorable to the ecosystem in the long term, and what might possibly just bite the dust, especially with the current crypto crash, or the current bear market, which has its way of thieving away projects that have no long-term viability. Yeah. So of course, before I begin, Mr. Pekka, I would really like you to tell us a bit more about yourself. I'd like the audience to know much more about you and your journey so far in the cryptoverse.
Right. Okay. First, I'm gonna be 63 next week Sunday, 3rd of July. I'm probably one of the oldest guys in the scene. But I started my first company in '94, and I've been online since those days, so early days of internet, actually, the same year that the first commercial browser was launched, Netscape. Last 6 years I've been full-time on blog. Yeah. Last 6 years I've been full-time blogger. Sorry, please.
No, you're making me excited. I'm really excited because, like most people in this space, are almost never up to 40. So, like, it's a big deal for me.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm enjoying every second, including these seconds with you. I mean, right. I came across 2016 late. I came across with Ethereum white paper, and I was sold because I come from the enterprise software world, so to say, on business development side of it and sales strategy. And if there's a mechanism that actually can cut off the unnecessary and most of the times very disturbing middlemen on the procedures and transactions, and I really got hooked up with the document itself. I didn't sleep, I didn't eat in a couple of months, and I was really, really excited about it. And it took me quite a while to understand that it's nothing without the cryptocurrency, the actual value of this particular infrastructure. When I got my first ETH in early 2017, so quite good timing from that perspective. And since those days I started to go to meetups here in Dubai. I live in Dubai in 16 years now here. I was researching a lot because that's what I do. If I'm not on for example in this kind of video interviews and meetings and meetups, I'm online and researching. That's what I do. So I started to go to these meetups because I was so interested in what this was all about. Quite soon I found myself speaking on these meetups instead of being in the audience, and that's been my kind of my path overall. I'm last 1.5 years, again, based on what I do, I ended up on an advisory role on quite many projects. Now I'm advising 5 projects today. So yeah, all Web3, and plus 1, which is a centralized exchange, by the way. So yeah, I have this kind of, my mantra is to explain to people that because this is kind of second round for me, because early days of internet, late 90s, early 2000, nobody believed in internet. It was scammers and drug money and terrorist money, whatever. And then big change happened when actually the regulations came on board, and that's something that we need to have also. Certain type of and enough regulated systems for the blockchain cryptos also that will take this to mainstream. But that's kind of thing that we're just eagerly waiting. And now, yeah, I'm really enjoying all the seconds and every minute I'm on the scene, and it seems that I can work at 24/7 because, well, I have my furthest away west customers from the project that I'm advising is in Argentina. And then I have quite much of the other side of the world in China and the other parts of Asia. And of course in the middle, like UK and Europe also. But yeah, so here I am, that's what I do.
Awesome. I'm glad you were here like from the early days of the internet, and then today you actually you're actually still here. That means you understand what it's like for an ecosystem to like be in its infancy, and then to actually grow, and then to achieve mainstream adoption. So you have a lot of context, especially into projects that will never make it. You probably saw the .com bubble, right? You were probably very active then and all that. I mean, I was just a little child at the time, but of course.
Okay.
Because myself, I am 29. I just turned 29 this year, so I'm yet to even be 30. So definitely I was a child at the time. But then it's always interesting to see you know, how ecosystems really like broke through the early stages, and just the same way the blockchain universe is doing right now. So that brings us to the topic of today. So play to earn games, blockchain gaming basically, and the GameFi movement, it had a really big run last year, and it more or less got into the beginning of this year, except of course before the bear market like tanked most assets and a lot of interest, right? But then there have been some successful projects that have tried to capitalize on a similar sort of business model. And I think a very good example was the move to earn movement, which was of course chaired by the likes of StepN, which rallied like really big time for quite a long time. That was before, you know, of course, the general market sentiments caught up as well. So I would like to ask you, is there any one of these business models, say whether it's the move to earn, the sleep to earn, the dates to earn, that you might think have actual, learn to earn, you know, is there any one of them you think has actual long-term viability?
First of all, everything related to cryptos, blockchain, Web3 process today, their fundamentals are the same than there is on any software, any technology project. You need to have solid technology, then you need to have good strategy, and the whole ball game will be played, and those will be what will be successful and make it big on the scene. They will have the biggest committed community. And how to get that? Of course, there are different mechanisms, but quite many people are jumping into this first to see how they can earn whatever mechanism it is. But that cannot be the core. If that is the only mechanism is to generate money, whatever you do there, you don't care. This does not last. When it comes to GameFi, it needs to be closer to Web3 gaming experience. And when we are in this particular status, it will take a while still. And of course, this play to earn GameFi platforms today, their earning mechanisms, they are not sustainable. So that needs to be developed much further. So because they cannot take any this kind of crash what happen in the markets, they simply can't take it. And even if it's a good market, they cannot. It's not sustainable earning mechanisms. Those needs to be developed. But the basic fact is that I'm also publishing it in quite many places that Accenture came out with one of the researches 2 months ago, I believe it was, that they on this particular article they claim or say that there is 2.7 billion. It's a huge number. 2.7 billion active video gamers, online gamers in the world. And if this is the potential to join Web3 to this play to earn blockchain gaming. So we just need to go step by step and maybe like patient. And by the way, that's my or one of my themes also, and this is that I explain everybody, whatever the market condition it is, patience is the word for you when you're in crypto, and develop yourself, understand better, join the best platforms to research and study and use them. But that's pretty much the case. Technology there, build up your community. It needs to be committed community. Money is not the only driver. It needs to be there, good solid earning mechanisms. It needs to be there, but we need to develop them much further than they are today.
All right. I love the fact that you mentioned, of course, the communities. You mentioned the communities, you mentioned patience, and of course, you mentioned the fact that focus has to be somewhere else aside from just purely earning, because of course purely earning doesn't guarantee longevity. Although I mean something I actually did ask you was I wanted to really know, say from experience, is there any one of those movements you see like becoming, say, the next play to earn, or having the same sort of explosive effect that play to earn had? Because all of a sudden people make this permutation right now. For example, if say you have a dating industry worth XXX billions of dollars, the thinking is that if I could have, say, 5% of that industry that somehow is also interested in the Web3 ecosystem, I could create demand for people who are willing to, say, date and also earn money. I mean, that's usually the investor pitch, right? But of course, you actually know that, for example, the motivations that have people being on dating apps are markedly different from what makes somebody go play a game. So it's slightly different markets. So of course there can be some kind of one fits all approach. So that's just by the way. All I'm trying to say is there one of them that caught your eye and you said, okay, there is a bit of a future in here, like for this?
First of all, I'm a big fan of myself. I am a lifetime learner, so I kind of like the idea if you can earn by learning. But then again, how these mechanisms will be sustainable, we don't have them yet there. So it is much experimental today what we have. But again, if you think it this way, that what needs to be there on the platform itself to be secure and enough, have all the elements to transact, TPS, transaction per second will be big enough number, and these kind of things. That's data on the network. So this is related to community again, a number of transactions, the data there is on the network. And when we're talking about these staking protocols, data is your coin. So this needs to be understood. There cannot be anything successful if you have a community that is not really committed to keep their coins and data, which is data, to guarantee the security and all the other elements that needs to be there to function platform. So if now what's happening, guys are jumping from different earning platforms to different earning platforms just to hunt the money. And this cannot be the case. I want to point out and to stress this particular thing, that build your platform the way that people really want to be part of that. That's part of their life. They want to be on your platform instead of going from one platform and taking the money with them to another other platform. So that's the biggest thing. But I also believe that there will be quite many different earning procedures and platforms. For example, I'm advising very, very interesting project from UK, which is a script.tv, and that's watch to earn. And then just kind of coincidence that today I had a meeting, and it's quite early stage project. I can give a little hint about it. It is research. And we will build up the same kind of mechanism that you can participate on research, and you can bring your own like Wikipedia type of approach almost, but not much about it yet. But in 1 month's time we come out with this kind of a concept, and you can join the platform, and you can research, you can do research, you can participate in research, you can ask research, and there are different kind of earning mechanisms based on this. Some of these will fly, most of them not, but the best one will fly. And believe me, a committed community, that's the key. Of course the technology needs to be there and so forth.
Of course. that actually sounds kind of interesting. I can imagine Wikipedia like looking into something like that.
Yes.
So okay, so just two last things. So what do you actually think about, say, GameFi as it is, since GameFi essentially began this rush of earning, by doing something on the blockchain? What do you think the short term looks like for GameFi projects? What do you think it looks like?
The peak what we had last year, as you explained already in the beginning of this interview, that was the peak that will not come back soon. First of all, we know what's happening in the global economy and financial systems. That's delaying everything. On the other hand, the mechanisms that there was last year, they are not sustainable. Most of them look almost like pyramid schemes in that sense. But this needs to be developed, and this takes time. And this needs to be combined with the best gaming platform developers from Web 2, also to give this kind of knowledge and understanding to Web 3 programmers and coders, and this kind of collaboration. And not to forget that this cannot be isolated island from the financial systems in the world. We need to have this best economists from the world to join in this. This kind of combination of these different skill sets and experience, that will make and develop, these guys will develop the best earning platforms, whatever there is, gaming or watching or walking or moving or dancing, whatever it is. But yeah, this kind of system, combining the different skill sets and experience from the markets, this kind of team will be the winning team, and this kind of team will develop the best platforms.
Awesome. You raise awesome points. So just one last thing. So I want us to play a game right before you go. So it's a very simple game. Wait.
I'm nervous already.
So it's a very simple game, but it's touchy. So I will want you to so I'm going to mention a name of somebody that's a little popular in the Web3 ecosystem, and I would want you to describe that person with one word. No more than one word. No more than one word.
Okay.
So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, number 1, Elon Musk.
Brilliant mind.
That's more than one word, but I'll take brilliant.
Okay, brilliant is okay.
Then Gary V.
We should not forget the mind. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
The marketer.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. That's pretty fair. Jack Dorsey.
The beard.
Oh, that's fair. Okay, what about CZ?
Well, Dubai.
When you think CZ, you just think Dubai immediately.
Well, yeah. First of all, he's doing a good job to bring so much other projects in here.
Oh
So
yeah,
he's a leader.
He's done
a
an
leader.
amazing job. Absolutely,
Yes.
no doubt about it. Okay, so one last person, the guy himself, Vitalik.
Einstein.
Wow, fitting. He must be our own crypto Einstein. Oh, absolutely. Anyway, thank you so much, Pekka Kelkka.
It's my pleasure. My
I
pleasure.
so much appreciate your time, sharing it with me and sharing these insights. Of course, like you said, I do believe community and openness to, of course, invite the best economists, the best researchers, the best programmers from Web 2, and of course from other industries, other specialized industries are definitely what is needed. And of course, that magical thing that a lot of people really lack, which is patience. Patience. We need a lot of patience in this industry.
Yes.
Yeah, so definitely, we hopefully we have this, and we do have a lot more successful business models such as the GameFi, and definitely
Absolutely.
far more successful Web3. Thank you so much. So
My pleasure. Thank
when
you.
we speak again, thank you. Bye bye.